Joaquin Phoenix's performance in Joker is legendary. He will get an Oscar nomination, and you could consider him the front runner along with Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's haunting, he's incredible, but Heath Ledger is still the best movie Joker. Let me be clear off the top. Joaquin's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker are completely different. Some people have also said that Joaquin's Joker isn't exactly the real Joker character. The movie Joker is largely based around Arthur Fleck becoming the iconic character, but it's a very different incarnation compared to the one from The Dark Knight. It really isn't even a comic book movie, and while Joaquin's performance is unreal, I just prefer Ledger's more. The mannerisms of Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight, those are a huge reason why people love the character, and I'm gonna come up with a term here, ready? It's gonna be a term to describe Ledger's Joker. Gracefully rigid. The way he moves is elegant, yet at the same time still frenzied. The scene where he crashes the party is a great example. He holds the gun in an unorthodox and haphazard way. He throws a drink over his shoulder and takes an empty sip. And he eats food like a fucking animal. Even with all that, there's an elegance to the way he moves. Nobody has ever walked away from an explosion with as much of a carefree demeanor as when Joker blows up the hospital in Dark Knight. It's part of what makes the character so frightening. He's both unhinged and polished at the same time. I also love the way he looks at people. It's as if he's staring into their soul. He analyzes Rachel here, licks his lips as he approaches her, and delivers this line.
Well, hello, beautiful.
He does the occasional head tilt and tosses visual daggers into people's eyes. Ledger's Joker takes pride in messing with your head at every moment possible. And it's hard to forget that iconic face paint, which is probably the most recognizable out of any Joker we've ever seen. It's gritty, not always the exact same, and gives off a sense of horror and pandemonium because of the nature in which he applies it to his face. I will say the twist of Joaquin's Joker's laugh is pretty great. Saying he has an uncontrollable condition where he breaks out laughing in fits, it's a genius spin on the iconic character trait. It gives this Joker a more disturbing and unfortunate side to him. Now with Ledger, the laugh makes him all the more maniacal. He uses it to taunt his victims, both genuinely,
very poor choice of words,
or even sarcastically.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
That might be my favorite laugh in the entire film. The laugh is frustrating for our protagonists. In the interrogation scene, no matter how hard Batman tries to have the upper hand, the Joker uses the laugh to make sure the masked hero knows that he will never have it.
Your friend, the district attorney, or his blushing bride to be. You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
Even in the final scene, when Batman thinks he won, the Joker laughs and lets him know his plan has only just begun.
What did you do?
I took Gotham's White Knight and I brought him down to our level. It wasn't hard. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Well, Joaquin's version of the Joker and his Arthur Fleck character is scary for reasons involving how mysterious and unnerving he is. Ledger's Joker is just flat out horrifying at times. His intimidation is unmatched because he goes about it in so many different ways. He can rope you in with a calm presence, only to strike fear into his enemies with viciousness.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone.
The calming presence is even a constant in some instances. In the incredible opening scene, he approaches the banker in a poetic fashion, dropping this comment on him.
Look at you. What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
and then stuffing what appears to be a grenade in his mouth as he whimsically walks away. Other times, he just flat out doesn't give a fuck about you, or anything for that matter, and he wants to make sure you know it.
Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city.
They won't work for a freak.
Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you to your pooches? And then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is.
Lastly, let's talk motives. The Joaquin Joker, without giving much away, no spoilers here, he does have motives, but his aren't as calculated and fueled by pure chaos like the Joker in The Dark Knight. He wants everything to break out in pure bedlam, or as Alfred says,
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
the Joker's a man with a plan in The Dark Knight, despite what he tells Harvey Dent.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
Many people have actually pointed out that in this specific scene, Joker has his finger on the gun in a way that would prevent Dent from shooting him. He believes there's a bad side in everyone when presented with the right situation, but Joker still has a backup plan and an idea at the end of the movie just in case his theory doesn't hold true.
Can't rely on anyone these days. You gotta do everything yourself. Don't we?
That's okay. I came prepared.
It's a funny world we live in.
Joker is calculated and maps out every possible scenario, no matter who or what you are. Trying to outsmart the Joker is nearly impossible. The intricate details and execution of the opening bank scene is a genius-level plan from the character.
No. I killed the bus driver.
Bus driver? What bus driver?
School's out. Time to go. What happened to the rest of the guys?
That might be the biggest thing that gives him the edge for me. At no time in Joker did I ever think that Joaquin's character could outsmart a superhero. Now, in terms of other Jokers, Jack Nicholson's from Batman '89 feels very much like a live-action cartoon type hybrid. And despite the fact he isn't very comic accurate with the name and the killing of Batman's parents, the origin itself doesn't bother me as much as it bothers me that I don't get the same mysterious vibe with Nicholson's Joker. I just know too much, and it doesn't feel as unpredictable like the other incarnations. I also can't say I'm a huge fan of this iconic line.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Don't get me wrong, I like Nicholson's take, it's just not my favorite. I can actually easily entertain Mark Hamill's Joker being considered the best one. His laugh is the top of the game in my opinion. Because it's a cartoon character, doesn't quite get the broad mainstream love it deserves, but in the setting of the shows and movies his Joker appears in, Hamill's version fits the bill perfectly. Speaking of perfectly fitting into a setting, Cesar Romero's Joker from the 60s slips into the campy style of the show and the movies. Yes, it is a vastly different type of character from the present day Jokers, from the surfing, playing baseball, and it's hard to ignore the fact that Romero kept his mustache underneath all of that paint, but he is still the OG and deserves praise for a Joker rendition that will forever stand out with the crowd. It may not seem like it now, but for what he was supposed to be, Cesar Romero is the golden era Joker. Finally, we come to Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad. He was a club owner, I think? He might have been a DJ of some sorts. He sort of dressed like a pimp at times. Then there were the fucking tattoos. I like Jared Leto. He's an Oscar winner. I know he put a ton of time into the role, slipping into the character, eating a bunch of ice cream with olive oil and things of that nature. But this Joker, who had a ton of hype and very little screen time, is just the worst in my eyes. If I had to rank these 6 Jokers, I would have Heath Ledger first, Mark Hamill second, Joaquin Phoenix third, with the performance taking it over the edge, Jack Nicholson fourth, Cesar Romero fifth,
Then there's 50 feet of crap.
and then Jared Leto in a very far dead last. As for my feelings on Joker as a movie, I think it's one of the best released all year. The movie as a whole, the story, the supporting characters, it's solid, but what takes it to another level is Joaquin Phoenix. It's a dark, upsetting character study that brings you straight into the mind of Joker. It perfectly balances the ambiguity of the character, all while still fleshing out who he is. The movie can be a challenge as a viewer as it pushes you to the limit of wanting to feel some slight sympathy for a monster of a character with the mental health theme so present throughout. I think a little more unpredictability would have helped the movie. The story elements and twists seem a little too obvious and on the nose at times, but it isn't a big enough deal for me to lower my opinion on it all that much. Without really going into spoilers, the politics and social commentary are fairly upfront for me and not totally subtle, so I find the most intriguing part of the movie to be the understanding of what exactly happens. It's open-ended and leaves you questioning things at times. I won't say too much more, and you can listen to my spoiler thoughts on my podcast. Just click one of these up here to go listen to the pod. But here's what director Todd Phillips had to say.
I think part of the fun, I've shown it to many, many different people, and they all have a different reaction. Some of them say, oh, I get it. You don't like to answer those questions because it's nice to see the different things people take away from it.
It took a while to digest, but my final score on Joker is a 93 out of 100. With that score, I have Joker number 3 in my movie rankings for 2019, right behind Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Rocket Man, and ahead of Midsommar and Last Black Man in San Francisco. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, click the bell icon so you can watch future videos, and to subscribe to the channel. It'd be a big help. Let us know too in the comments what your favorite Joker rendition is. Is it Joaquin? Is it Heath? Is it someone else? And you can rate all 2019 movies in the links below. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the movie.